So before I got help from Sylvia, had good grades, I had good extracurriculars, I had the things that, you know, many kids in the country have, and it's an entire thousands of kids who are applying to these schools that you want to get into, and it's very few who actually get in. And that's why you need things like a really good SAT score. It completely changed the game to have this score for me, because there are tons of kids who got straight A's, there are tons of kids who were on a sports team and did well, but there are fewer kids who got above a 2300 on the SAT. And it's those kids who are the ones who are getting in, and it's those kids who are the ones who are getting offered scholarships. That's something that really changed the game for me. If I had applied with the SAT score that I had, I maybe would have gotten into some of the schools that I got into, and I probably would have gotten rejected by a lot more of them. I wouldn't have gotten the scholarship offers I did. That completely changed everything. And if you want that chance, then SAT tutoring is a necessity. Getting a really great score is a necessity, because it will make you be set apart from all those other kids, and trust me, they are out there. I've met them. And you want to be different from them, and a great SAT score is what's going to make you different. So what Sylvia did was bring me from the top 20% of the people taking the SAT to the top 1%. And that's an enormous change. I went from being, you know, one applicant to a bunch of schools like Cal and UCLA and Ivy Leagues and stuff to being one of their top applicants. You go from, I mean, it put me in the 1% pool for Berkeley, and I got a scholarship there. Like, you can't, there's nothing to compare to that. A scholarship to Berkeley, I never would have even been considered if I didn't have an SAT score that I had after Sylvia. It just wouldn't have been possible. It changes you from someone who's in a wider pool to someone who's in a very select pool, the kids who got scores like that. And the only way you can really get a score like that is by having someone tell you how to take this test. And that's what Sylvia can do. So I had other SAT tutors, and the problem with them was we'd spend about an hour just looking at essay questions and writing questions and things, math questions especially, because that was my main problem, was the math section. And what it was that we'd just be examining one question, figure out how to do it, okay, that's the answer, and moving on. And there was never any actual formula to it. And what Sylvia changed and what she brought into it was this strategy, the idea that the SAT, every answer is within the question, especially with the math section. And once you realize that there's really a way to approach each question as if it's not even having anything to do with math, as if it's just a complex little mind game sort of thing, that's how you actually start really understanding what you're doing on this, and doing it in a timely manner, and figuring it out and feeling more confident about it. And going into that SAT after having weeks of being helped by Sylvia, it was completely different. I felt much more confident. I felt like I actually understood what I was looking at, and like I actually understood what they were getting at. Because in the end, the SAT is not, it isn't a test of knowledge or, you know, what accumulated stuff that you've learned over high school. It's a test of how well you can, you know, understand what they're trying to get you to understand. It's hard to explain, but it's a strategy game, essentially. And that's what Sylvia showed me. She basically wrote out this formula for how to do the essay, and it raised my score from a 700 to an 800 just in that. I mean, there's really a way to do it that's like sentence by sentence, learn what to say, and you get a perfect score. And it's the same with the math, it's the same with the reading section. If you understand the tips and the strategies and how to just look at it as something beyond actual math and actual reading, then you can get it. Anyone can get it. And it's really a matter of like mastering what that strategy is. And that's what Sylvia helped me with.